Sand mining is an industry that stays largely under the radar. And in Papua New Guinea, the lack of understanding of the environmental and social impacts of sand mining puts us at risk of bad decisions that could cause widespread destruction of villages. In September, when the Mineral Resources Authority conducted mining warden hearings at villages at the Sungirba local level government area, some of the meetings were met with resistance from the locals who felt that there wasn't enough consultation and awareness. The proposed stretch of operation for the Singaporean registered sand mining company is on a long stretch of beaches where people from 10 large communities live. Unless there is widespread awareness, the decisions that could possibly be made by customary landowners could result in the displacement of their own villages and the destruction of internationally recognized turtle conservation sites. Wenceslaus Magun, who heads Makata, a local NGO, says a lot more awareness is needed on the impact of sand mining.
Sabas mimplan no sabe na use ignorance mimplan no kam na to exploration license go ahead na conductive na give mining license na. Mina am kam na kisi wesan go one kind of single by wakilo krumbukaria.
Overseas, there is growing concern over the rate at which sand is being mined around the world. Much of the demand is being driven by construction in Singapore and China, two large economies in the region growing at unprecedented rates.
No sand, no modern civilization.
Sand mining has also become the subject of TED Talks, focusing on the impacts and its value to growing communities.
Gambia, in Kenya, in Indonesia, and many other places, people have been assaulted and tortured and murdered all over sand.
25 islands have already disappeared. Indonesia is shrinking, and that's because of the immense quantities of sand it has provided to neighboring Singapore.
The enormous consumption of construction sand means that Papua New Guinea's beaches are now in the sights of multinational corporations keen to get a hold of cheap sand for export. New Guinea Sands Limited expects to make up to 10 million kina in its initial stages of operation and gradually expand into an ever-growing international construction sand market in Asia. Its projected revenue is expected to grow by 15 to 35% in the long term. But one question remains. As a country, how much do we really know about sand mining?
Do we know other mineral components in the sand that they are trying to extract? You think him? No one plus study him, so me plus him. This la Western this la kind mineral component inside the Western. Now talk centers or generally. Now to give me a license to exploring sand mine and mining sand. That's not good. You know, a feasibility study has to be conducted independently.
And this is what small-scale sand mining looks like. This is in Sierra Leone in Africa, where miners have stripped sand off beaches and river mouths. In this multi-billion-dollar global industry, it's the money that matters and the large-scale urban development which drives the demand for sand. In India, weak laws and enforcement of existing regulations have given rise to a host of problems, including organized crime, theft of beaches, and serious environmental damage.
The whole sand mining story started because I was attacked.
One of the international faces of the anti-sand mining push is Indian environmentalist Sumaira Abdul Ali. She recounts experiences that in some instances resonates with Papua New Guineans who own land.
There was a time when they owned the land. Today, this is the kind of work they engaged in because the process of urbanization, which we all take for granted as being imperative, actually means that these people have been dispossessed from their land.
Well, the government has reiterated that other sand mining projects will fall under the Mining Act. Specific legislation on sand mining and the understanding of its impacts is lacking. And this in itself opens up opportunities for abuse.